Greetings everyone. In this video, I thought I would share with you a little bit of some music theory and a little bit of how to play the Sonic 1 special stage. Just in a very basic sense. I think I'm going to make this in a multi-part series, like maybe 3 parts or so, possibly 4, I don't know. And I'd like to share a few... Oh, my camera's really like going back and forth like crazy. Dude, just stay put. Okay, here we go, right here. So, I'm going to be sharing a few things. The time of this recording, my Sonic 1 special stage video is very popular. It's the most popular one that I have. And I've had more than one person ask me, how do you play this? I wish I knew how to play this. And so I thought I might try to give a little bit of explanation as to how you would do that. So I'm going to start first of all by talking a little bit about, I don't know how much about music that you actually know already. So I'm going to talk just a few things about some basic rhythms and what the difference is between melody and harmony, because in those 2 parts you have to understand those in order to really be able to flesh out your own arrangement and understand what I'm doing. Now, I don't think I'm going to actually do like note for note what I do in mine, and this is kind of about the best setup I think I can actually get on this piano. I don't know, unless I can zoom it out more. But this will suit fine for what we're doing for right now. So, first of all, the Sonic special stage. Now, my arrangement is pretty simply something like this. Over and over like that again. So I'm not going to be showing you the full of how to do that right now, but I am going to at least explain the basics of how the song works. Okay. Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about melody. Okay. Now we have our keys here. All right. Each key has its own letter name. For those of you who don't know, again, I'm kind of starting on square one, but I'm not going to be doing a whole huge thing. But so. The neat thing about this melody is that it fits within just 5 keys, okay, which is great because you've got 5 fingers. We call the thumb finger 1, number 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, okay? So if you put your 1 on C, okay, now we have 7 letters that we use, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then here's another A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it keeps going up that way. So you have a whole bunch of different A's, and B's, C's, D, E, F, and G. And they just keep repeating over and over the keyboard. But the melody of the special stage only uses 5 notes. That's the main part, what we would call the A section, the first section. The B section, or I guess you could call it more the bridge, because it's not very long. Oh, okay, I lied. We got to catch this one up here. Okay, so we almost use all 5 keys, except for just one little thing. Okay, now don't worry about rewinding. I'm going to explain a little bit more detail what we've got going on here. Okay. Now, these are the letters that we're going to be using. C, D, E, F, G, and just for once, A up there. Okay? So, the way you can handle this is just let your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just settle on C, D, E, F, G. And you can just kind of keep it here for right now. Okay? This is just to learn the basic melody. The first note is going to end up being E. Now, let me tell you, C, this is middle C. Middle C is the most important key on the piano, I think, because those who take any sort of piano lessons, the staff kind of orients itself around middle C, because C is kind of in between equally of both the treble clef marked here and the bass clef marked here. So it's equidistant between them, and it's just sort of marked between the 2 staffs. So that kind of makes it a really important note. So C is easy to find because it's in front of every group of 2 black keys. there are groups of 2 and groups of 3 black keys. And so the letters repeat themselves around. So we've got a C here, and over here, that's a C, and so is that one, and that one, and that one, and then farther on outward, okay? So just set yourself on the C position, or a C pentascale, we could call it. Penta means 5, and scale means going up and down. So that's the idea we've got here, okay? The first letter we're going to use is E, because here's C, D, E, F, G. So for our melody, we're going to go E, F, G, E, E, C, E, C, E, F, G, E, C, D, C. And that's just the beginning part there, okay? Now, you may have heard that some of the notes are short, some of the key presses are short, and some of the key presses are longer, okay? I will quickly talk to you about rhythm. Rhythm is about the space of short strokes or long strokes, where you play a key very briefly or you hold a key for a while, okay? That's rhythm. How far apart the key presses are from each other. We say notes, but notes are what are written on the page. These are sounds because we don't have any notes written right now. These are tones, okay? So brief tones or longer tones. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Now, in music, we have at least two, 3 notes that we're going to be dealing with right here. The one that looks like this has a solid head and a stem. The stem could point up or the stem could point down. It doesn't really matter for right now. This is what we call the quarter note. This is 1 beat, okay? The half note is what has 2 beats. It's see-through, okay? Now, the other one is the dotted half note. There's a dot beside it, and, well, usually you'd see the dot over this way after it. So there's a dotted half note. So it counts as 2. The dot adds half the value of whatever you're dotting. So that means that this is 2, then this is the 1, so that's 3. So we have 1, or 1, 2, or we have 1, 2, 3 with the dot there, okay? So we're going to count this so you know how long to do it. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's how long you hold those different ones, okay? Now let's do the second part here, the bridge. I tell you what, for the bridge, let's scooch up here, okay? I think it'll be a little bit. So this will be kind of like a D pentascale. Not exactly, but in this position here. So you've gone from here, and you're just shifting up 1 key. So now your thumb's on D. You got D, E, F, G, A, okay? So we're going to start on the, we're going to start on the D here, okay? This is the bridge section. D, E, F, E, F, G, E, stretch to C, because your thumb is great at stretching. It's amazing. The other fingers kind of can too, but the thumb does a much better job. So that's the first one, and then it does it again, kind of. D, E, F, E, F, G, A, G, and then you can scooch back and you go back to the first part, okay? So let's just run through that together so you can kind of play along with me, okay? So I'm going to count E2 to help you remember how long you're going to count it to, okay? I'm not calling finger numbers, I'm calling out the counting, how long they are, okay? Let's try this. E2, F, G2, E, E2, C, E2, C, E2, F, G2, E, C2, D, C2, 3. Now it does repeat that again, but we'll just go on to the next part. Now scooch up a key. D, E, F, E, F, G2, E, C2, 3, and D, E, F, E, F, G2, A, G2, 3. Okay, There's only one other little thing that I didn't mention here. Is in front of that second section, the bridge, there is what we call a rest. A rest is a spot where you're just not playing a key, and it's only for one beat. So you have to go rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rest. So it's just a real short one. That's all it is, okay? Now, that's the harmony. Those are the notes you're going to use, and that's the rhythm you're going to use. Now, the other side of this is I want to talk about the chords, the harmony, okay? Now, in music, a chord is a group of notes that are usually every other key, not these keys, I'm just like every other key, that sound well together. And in most cases, every other key really sounds nice. This one has a little bit of a peculiar sound to it. There's a reason why, but I'm not going to tell you right now because we don't need to know. Those are all chords, okay? And the happy thing about the special stage is that for the most part we can just use the white keys. There's really only one black key that I think we're going to need to deal with, but that's all, okay? Now, a chord is named when we have them all nicely stacked in every other key, which sometimes we call skips because you're skipping every other finger. When you have them nice and stacked like this with fingers 1 and 3 and 5, the name of that chord is going to be down here based on the note that it's called, or the note that it starts on. So the first chord that we start on is actually going to be an F chord. So F, and then A, and then C. Every other key. I'm going to sit down here a second. It's weird. I'm trying to... I got my neck craned to look over the phone and try this. Okay, so the first chord we're going to use is an F chord. Okay? Every other key, you can just use fingers 5 and 3 and 1. That's the nice, easiest way to do it. And you're just not going to use fingers 2 and 4 at this moment. Okay? Now, chords are notes that agree with each other. This is an F chord because F is what we call the root of it, where it's named. Okay? Now, you're going to scooch down by one white key, and now you're going to do an E chord. Not actually an E chord. We call it E minor, but we don't need to know why major or minor right now. That's beyond the scope of this. But a chord that starts on E, a chord that starts on D, and then a chord that starts on C. Now you don't really need to curl your fingers in. I'm just so you can see the keys a little bit better, which one I'm pushing. Come back up to F, down to the E, down to the D, and down to C. Okay? Now there's only one other one that you need to worry about is in the bridge section. You're going to need to use this black key at the top of the group of 3 black keys. We call it B flat because here's B, and flat means you take it down to the very, very closest key below it or lower than it, and so that's this one right here. Now B flat, D, and F make a B flat chord. Okay? That's the only one that you'll need to know for the bridge, and then you'll come back to C, and then B flat again, and then you'll need D minor, and then you can do a G chord to finish it off. It's not exactly the harmony that's there, but we can use it for now. So let's try this just in these basic chords right here. Now I know that those of you are saying, but they're 7th chords. Yes, they are 7th chords. Let's just keep it one step at a time, okay? So, traveling your hands in these skipping patterns of chords. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to hold this for 2 sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Go back down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Skip up to here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a G chord that I didn't say yet because it starts on G. G and B and D, okay? Now, that is the basics of the harmony of the song. It's not completely accurate, but it's the start, okay? We're going to build into this a little bit here. Those are chords. Your left hand is better suited for doing harmony for the purposes of this, and your right hand can do the melody, because melody sounds nicer when it's up higher because it's easy to hear, okay? So we were on the middle C here position. Let's bring it up to this higher C position so that the hands aren't going to be getting in each other's way, okay? So this is one set, what we call an octave, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like an octagon, octopus, octave, okay? 8 keys higher. So we're going to set it here, and we're going to have your left hand, finger 5 on the F, and then that's your position, and you'll be shifting around, okay? The trick is probably moving one hand while the other is not moving, so take as much time as you need to practice this, okay? So, yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then you repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now come down here, again, B flat, and the D and the F, so this is the only black key you're going to use at the top of this group of 3 black keys. Move your right hand up to here, so your thumb is starting on the key after C, which is a D, which is right in the middle of that group of 2. Left is going to hit first. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Notice how I stretched. Come back. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you go back to the beginning, and that's how that works, okay? So try that out as much as you need to, okay? That's the great thing about Rewind. That's awesome. Except it's not even VHS, so you don't actually have to physically rewind. Oh, the days of VHS. Make sure you be kind and rewind before you take it back to the library, right? Okay, so that'll be just a very beginning intro. I don't want this video to go on too long. I just want it to be short-ish and sweet. A very basic way of understanding what makes the special stage song work. Its melody and its harmony, and a very basic way of understanding it. We can build on this later of dealing with accompaniment styles, of what the left hand is going to be doing. We can explain more what the more chords are, more specific that they are to the arrangement. But again, just very, very simple. And then I'll show you what it is that I actually do and explain my reasoning for it. Okay, that'll be in a later video. But let me know if this is helpful to you. I'll probably let this go for maybe a week or so before I try doing a part 2. Just to give people time to absorb it. And feel free to please ask questions in the comments. If it's a complicated question, I don't know. I might answer it, or I might say, I'll address it in the next video, perhaps. So we'll see what happens there. But thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.